Guys, my name is Noni Matikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about what happened in court after Judge Rata did everything that he did or he could to declare Makosonge an unworthy witness because that's what he was doing. But let's look at what happened after the defense decided, let's take you there because you want us to take you there. One thing that they did, shredded, realize the paper. Realize the paper when they take a paper or decide to take a stack of pages and they put them in the shredding machine. That's what they did with what Judge Rata was trying to do. The defense did exactly that. When it comes to what Judge Rata was trying to do, they shredded everything into pieces. You will never find it. Yes, it's on record, but okusalayo, you will never find it. So that was not testimony. What Judge Rata was doing with Makosonge, that was not testimony. That was not clarification. That was a legal collusion. That was a legal collusion unfolding live in open court on national television, on YouTube, on national live, social media. That's what happened. For a moment, the courtroom stopped being governed by law. That moment, Judge Rata was busy with that. And it drifted into something far more dangerous. Far more dangerous. When Judge Rata Mokgwatleng pushed the proceedings into religious territory. That, my dear, he was attempting to explain the meaning of an oath through a biblical framing. The air changed instantly when he did that. The defense was in disbelief. They were in disbelief, Sanalam. And they said then, we're like, okay, let's allow him to do the charade and then we will get to it. We will attend to him. Because a court of law does not run on sermons. It's not a church. That's not a church building. We're dealing with family tontons, criminal procedures, etc. there. It's not a Sunday school logic. It's not a moral persuasion disguised as legal explanation. That's what? A courtroom that is dealing with a murder, crime. It runs on procedure, on statutes. That's what it runs on constitutional certainty. And that is when the tone of the trial shifted. I don't know what he thought he was doing there. I don't know. But one thing that happened, after that showdown of Judge Rata, the theatrics of Judge Rata, entered advocate Charles Mnisi. No shouting, no theatrics, no disrespect, just calm, just precision, just questions. And sometimes questions are more dangerous than arguments. Mnisi was like, Nzamfumana lo, Nzamfumana usile lo. Umnisi did not challenge religion. He's a Christian. He did not debate belief. He is a Christian. He did not argue morality. He is a Christian. Instead, he aimed directly at the logic holding the oath theory together. And then, one by one, he dismantled it. In front of Judge Rata, he dealt with him. In front of him, he asked the witness, were you ever taught to say, I know and understand the contents of this declaration and have no objections to take the prescribed oath? And Makosonge was, nope, I was not taught that. Were you taught that? No. And then I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my conscience. Were you taught to certify that a statement was made before you, that the deponent understood its content, that it was signed in your presence? Do you remember ever being taught what an oath is? He was like, nope, 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 to all of them. Do you use a pen? What kind of question was that to Judge Rata, guys? Do you use a pen? Can you read and write English? What the flip? And then Judge Rata, does your work as a minor involve regulated processes, formal declarations, oath-related responsibilities? And then Umnisi was like, before arriving in this courtroom, Had you ever taken an oath anywhere else? Guy was like, nope. And then came the moment that quietly shook the room. Umnisi asked, when the court refused to let you demonstrate whatever you were trying to demonstrate, what exactly were you trying to show us or demonstrate there? And Ugai did the demonstration. And finally, is it true and correct that neither the state nor the court ever asked you whether the contents of your statement were read back to you? Damn it! No follow-up, no arguments. It was just silent, just this. And then Umnisi was like, thank you. I have no further questions. Damn! Because by then, the point had already been landed. The point had already landed. This was never about faith, never about schooling, never about belief. It was about competency. It was about credibility, about whether this law can pretend an adult who reads, writes, signs documents, and works in a regulated industry has never encountered an oath. And in exposing that contradiction, Advocate Nisi didn't just question a witness, he quietly exposed the danger of replacing law with explanation and procedure with persuasion. He dealt with uJudge Ratha kabuhlungu kabi, exposile. In that moment, the courtroom remembered something essential. Justice does not require sermons, it requires questions. And sometimes the simplest questions are the most devastating. And uJudge Ratha had to learn the hard way. He had to learn the hard way. I could not believe that old man. That old man is unbelievable. But big up to Umnisi. Umnisi shredded to uJudge Ratha. I don't care who says what. He dealt with him. He dealt with him. He put him on shame. He shamed him. He embarrassed him, humiliated him on record. And his so-called colleagues will hear that he was embarrassed by a young man. It was live in a courtroom. And it will forever be on the internet. And that time, what are your thoughts with what Umnisi did to uJudge Ratha? Sisaya kuRamsipile noMshololo. Let's talk about Umnisi. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.